Hi Flosstube, I'm Pam. Welcome to my channel, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. This is Flosstube number 72, and today is Thursday, August 18th. I feel like it's a quiz at the beginning of every video. Like, am I gonna remember the date correctly? I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, this is a channel where I talk about cross stitch. I talk about what's new in my cross stitch shop, Stitch New England. I talk about life updates. I talk about bird updates because I am fanatical about my backyard birds. Yeah, welcome. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy the video and maybe stick around and watch some others. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back. I appreciate you. It has been like 5 million years since my last video. I think it was back in July. I'm so sorry. Life just seems to be getting away from me these days. I've been a little stressed, and when I'm stressed, one of two things happen. Well, maybe one of three things. I lose my stitchy bug, which has not happened. I don't want to chit chat to my camera, which did happen. Or I don't do housework, which frankly almost never happens anyway. Okay, so we're gonna do things in reverse order. Usually I do life updates first, and then I do stitching, and then I do shop updates, and then I do bird updates. Today, we're gonna do shop update first, because I have a lot to talk about, and I don't wanna forget it. I do have notes, but like, I would have had to written like an encyclopedia to write down all my shop updates. And then we'll talk about stitching, and then we'll talk about plans, and then we'll do a bird update. I've got a clicky pen today. We're gonna see how that goes. I hope I'm not too annoying. Okay, so let's jump right into shop update. If you are finding me for the first time, I opened a cross stitch store in Massachusetts back in November called Stitch New England. So today we're gonna talk about, I'm not gonna show any of the new charts. If you're on my newsletter list, you'll have noticed I've gone to a weekly update format, and that's working better, and you're seeing more new things in the shop than you were seeing before. And because it's been 5 million years since we've chatted last, I don't even know what the last thing I showed. So anyway, what I am going to talk about is Needlework Expo, which is a virtual trade show only open to designers and wholesalers, and it's not open to the general public, that is happening 2 weekends from now, August 27th through the 29th. Like Nashville Needlework Market, I am taking pre-orders. I have made a section on the shop portion of my website, stitchnewengland.com, in which you can see by designer all the releases that you can pre-order through the website. Like I did at Market, if you do a pre-order through the website, you only have the option to do a pickup versus having it shipped. That does not mean that I am not shipping, because I am shipping. What it means is, because designers don't all release their things on the same day, I'm continually adding things to that section of the website. So I don't want somebody on a Tuesday to see a chart they like and order it, and then on the Thursday see something new that wasn't there before and order it and pay shipping on both items. So what's happening is you're only able to pick up for those things. When I'm ready to ship, I will reach out to you and ask whether you actually want to pick up or if you want your item shipped. If you want your item shipped, I'll send you an invoice for shipping. So we did this for Needlework Market back in March. It worked out really great. So we're doing it again for Expo. If you're confused or you have any questions about it, reach out to me through email, stitchnewengland@gmail.com. That's always the best way to reach me. It's the thing I check most often. Messages get lost. Like if you send me a message through Instagram or Facebook, I may or may not see it, or I may see it, but I'm in the middle of something and then I forget, and email is always the best way. You will note it, the items for pre-order on the website is not an exhaustive list. Sometimes designers don't send emails to the shops letting us know what their releases are, so those don't end up on the website. Doesn't mean I'm not taking pre-orders for them. Sometimes designers send emails with pictures in a way that's not easy for me to get over onto the website. I don't have time to be like reformatting or chasing down designers for a different format for their pictures, so those don't end up on the website. Doesn't mean I'm not taking pre-orders for them. What that means is if you see something that's being released to Expo and you don't see it on my website and you want to pre-order it from me, reach out to me through email and I'll put you on the list and you'll get invoiced when I'm ready to ship. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Again, if you have any questions about specifically about Needlework Expo pre-ordering, email me. Don't leave a question in the comments because that's actually the least effective way to get a response back from me. I love my comments. Thank you so much for commenting. It's not if you have a specific question that you need an answer to, that's not the best way to get one from me. All right, moving on from Expo. Another big thing that's happening in the shop is starting in September, I'm going to have new hours. So currently I am open on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 10 to 4, and on Wednesdays from 2 to 8. I open late and stay open late on Wednesdays because we have a Wednesday night stitching group. And there's a lot of things that happen in downtown North Attleboro, which is the town I'm in, on Wednesday evenings, so it makes sense for me to be open late on those days. What I'm finding is Tuesday's a slow day for me. It's also a day where I have a ton of like back end work I need to do. For whatever reason, usually all my inventory pops in over the weekend, and on Tuesday is the day that I need to get it all into the system. I have a lot of shipping that needs to get done. So what I have decided to do starting in September is Tuesday is no longer going to be a day that I am open all the time, physical store. The website's always open. So Tuesdays will be actually by appointment only. I'm still going to be here most of the time on Tuesdays getting things done. Just the doors will be locked. You won't be able to just pop in and shop. But for groups, this is important, for groups of 3 or more shoppers, if you're coming together and Tuesday is the day that you need to, that works best for you to get here, you're gonna be in the area, you're putting something together with some friends, you'd love to come down here on a Tuesday, email me. I'll be happy to set up a time for you to come in on a Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm gonna open at 10. So currently I open at 2 on Wednesdays. Starting in September, I'm gonna be open 10 to 8. Wednesday will be a long day. So I'll be open Wednesdays 10 to 8, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday 10 to 4. So 4 days a week, Wednesday will be a long day. I hope that makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to me through email. Okay, that's all I have to talk about shop update. Of course, there is always new charts coming into the shop. There will be tons of new charts coming in beginning of September when my Needlework Expo orders start getting shipped and coming in, you know what I'm saying. Anyway, we're like almost 10 minutes in. We're gonna stop talking shop. We are gonna talk giveaway winner. So last video, like 5 million years ago, I was giving away, I forgot to bring it over here. I was giving away the Land That I Love chart by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I was giving it away with the floss that I had left over. And the winner for that, I always use the random comment, the YouTube random comment generator situation. I don't know how to like edit very well, which is why I never show the video of me actually doing it. But anyway, Sally Deem, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Sally, but you won. Congrats, yay! And I have your address because you filled out the Happy Mail form, and it will go out this week. That was exciting. All right, let's talk stitching now, because that's really why we're here. Hold on, coffee time. Okay. there's been a lot of stitching because it's been a while. First, I'm gonna show you my finish. I was super close to a finish last time you saw her, and she is officially finished now. This is Dreaming Frida by Barbara Anna. I stitched it on a 20 count Aida, and she did not, I stitched her on a 20 count Aida, and like, I did nowhere near needing a fat quarter for this. I'm showing you the back end. Holy moly, you'd think I'd never done this before. All right, there she is. She's so good. She's so good. I love her earring. Can you see her earring? I hate that I can't see through the fabric, so you can see. She's so good. I love her little cat. I do wish my white had showed up a little better on this fabric, but it is what it is. She's so good. I love her shirt. I love her earrings. I love everything about her. So she's done. And at some point, I'm gonna fully finish her and hang her on the shelf. So that's like, I think in finishing her, that brought me down to 19 whips, like under 20. Spoiler alert, then I had a new start. We'll get to that. So I think I'm back up to 20. Okay. I am also stitching for the third year in a row I mean, not the same chart, but this is the third year in a row I'm doing a temperature chart. So this is Temperature Library 2 by Christie's Corner. And I'm a little behind. I stitch on it every Sunday, and I did not this past Sunday, and I don't remember, because it was a tax-free holiday weekend in Massachusetts. So my husband and I did a bunch of errands. I mean, we didn't make any big purchases that a tax-free saving 6.25% would really matter, but it's just an excuse to go out and get some things. We had a day, my husband and I, on Sunday. So I did not have a chance to stitch last week. So August is behind, but July, which obviously was super hot, like super hot. I still have a doodad I need to put in here, a knick-knack. There's a knick-knack that goes here. Obviously, we had a little bit of a heat wave again. So we had a heat wave in July, we had a heat wave in August. It's been hot. Finally, it has cooled down. Yesterday was cold. Yesterday was cold. We're finally cool here, comfortable in New England. All through both heat waves though, we have an in-ground pool, crystal clear. My pool has been crystal clear all year. It's been beautiful. It's been so hot, I haven't wanted to be out by the pool. Now it is finally comfortable and it's turned. It's green. My husband can't get it back clear. I don't think he's putting a lot of effort into it, which is usually what happens at the end of the season. It's a little disappointing. Okay, then what did I do? Then, once a month, wow, the brain stopped working. Did you see I gotta press the restart button? I host two Zoom stitch-alongs every month. This one is currently closed that I'm gonna talk about. I host a Fancy Folk Zoom, where if you're stitching a fancy folk, that loose guidelines there, we stitch together. And then the second one I host is a Hawk Run Hollow. The Hawk Run Hollow had been open, but I think I'm gonna close it back up again. Anyway, so because it was because it was Fancy Folk Zoom night, I got a June Bug by Nora Corbett, and she's so good. This is where, this is where we're at. I was trying to decide if I wanted to stitch her skin 1/1. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. Is it focused? And I do, this is part of her skin here. I do like it 1/1. So I had been moving along with the 1/1 while we were on our Zoom, and then I started to make mistakes, so I had to stop. And I moved down in here somewhere. But she's coming along. I mean, not super fast because she only comes out once a month, but she's a fun stitch. I really like her. Back in our bag. And then, in between every project is an and then. As well, I mean, I don't know what else would you say? I don't know. I am also hosting, this one's not a Zoom thing. I'm hosting a stitch along for a Tuscany Tasket. And I've broken it into 15 sections. You can see the 15 sections on the Facebook group, Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. It's in the description box below. And so every month I try to get a section done. And I finished August section. So I moved over here. So this situation here, and then this one. And I have to tell you, in looking at the chart, I did not realize this was one thing. I thought it was like a blue thing and then like a creamy gray thing. In stitching it, I have realized it's one thing, like stem and leaves and flower. Sometimes I'm thick. Oh my gosh, I'm out of control. Here we go. This was fun though. This was not. That motif was tricky, but it's good. So here's where it's at. And that's not bad. I'm plugging along. I don't want it to go too fast. I'm trying to hold back to one section a month because in hosting the stitch along, I know some people have already finished, which, holy moly. But then other folks are slower stitchers and I don't want anybody to feel left behind. I am though completing it in 15 months. I'm actually hoping to finish it in 12 if I can squeeze in an extra section here and there. We'll see. I'm stitching that on 32 count also. I've been staying away from saying what fabric I'm stitching things on. It didn't used to bother me until I opened the shop, and it's nearly impossible for me to always have called for fabric, or even things that I started ages ago. Some of that fabric is not even gettable, attainable, orderable now. So I don't want to tease people with fabric that I may not be able to get for you. You are always welcome to reach out to me and ask me, but I'm not going to say it out loud. But I do need to remember to at least talk about the count, because I mean, that's important for sizing. If you're trying to figure out what something will look like on 32 versus 40, or you know what I'm saying. I mean, maybe you don't know what I'm saying. I don't want to assume maybe that you know what I'm saying. Okay, it's going down a rabbit hole. Okay. This year, I am working on 2 focus projects a month, one in the first half of the month, one in the second half of the month. So the focus project for the first half of the month for August was the Nantucket Girls Sampler by Plum Street. And I'm stitching this on 40 count. I was hoping to get this tree done and that gal, there's a gal sitting here and that heart. I didn't get it done. That's okay. I did actually get most of the tree done. So there's like a bird nest in here with a couple of birds. There's a bird that goes up here. So I didn't get that done. But I mean, that was a lot of stitching. I don't remember why I didn't get it. Like, if I look, I try to keep track of what I've stitched when. I don't know. I may have had a day where I didn't, 2 days actually, where I didn't stitch at all in the first half of the month. So she didn't get, although as I'm trying to decide what I'm gonna get done in the first, during focus time, I'm like, I have this done and if I get that done, that's so much. And I'm just like, I'm never getting this done. Ever. Not if I'm only taking it out once a year and getting like a motif done. I don't know. Maybe it'll come out again this year. We'll see. I also have a project that I only work on at the shop. So if I have, usually Wednesday night stitchy groups, Wednesday nights, I don't usually have a ton of shoppers in the shop. So I usually get a bit of stitching done on Wednesday nights. Occasionally I can stitch on the Saturday stitchy groups on the Floss and Friends. So I am working in the shop right now on Red, She Said, by Hands On Design. I've never done one of these banners before. And I am on the third one, and I'm getting close. I have got needles and thread dangling everywhere. So that was banner number 1, banner number 2, and now banner number 3. We're getting close. So I worked on this last night. So close. And then once it's done, I'm gonna have to figure out how to turn it into the banner. We all know I am not crafty, so I think that Kathy Haberman has a tutorial on her YouTube on how to finish them. I don't think it's terribly hard. We'll see. We'll see. Because I really want to hang it in the shop. I'm in the shop today. If you're watching me for the first time, if I'm in front of the brick wall or the pink wall, I'm at the shop. If I'm in front of the red wall, I'm at home. I really wanted to have a chance to stitch in front of the bird feeders this summer, but the couple of times I've filmed at home, it has been too hot to sit out on the porch. And then it was Hot Run Hollow Zoom night. So I am stitching a year at Hot Run Hollow. I'm stitching it in the DMC, not the silk. I have been doing some color changing to kind of brighten it up a little bit. I'm stitching it on 40 count. And I am currently working on the May block. So that's January, February, March, June. This is May. Oh my gosh. You know, when you're stitching, everything is so, you don't really see, when you show it on camera, you can't really see what you've been doing. I was a little nervous about my color choices for this like lavender and blue flower. I am loving it. So the 3 flowers petals are done. I'm filling in the letters and then I'm gonna work on the stems. So I'm hoping to get, this is probably the last block I'm finishing this year. We shall see. But I'm hoping, there's not a lot left. So I've got, see how dark those are? I like mine better. I still have all of this to do and these bees and stuff up here. So it'll get done. That block will get done by the end of the year. I know it. Which will leave me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks done, and some, I've worked a little bit on some other blocks. So I'll be halfway done at the end of this year. That makes me very happy. Okay, rolling it back up. We're getting close. We're getting close to the end. And then I had a new start. I was sitting in here last Saturday and I got all the things I needed to get done for the week done. And I'm usually pretty slow between 3 and 4. Like the last hour of the day, it's pretty slow here. And so I was like, I've been eyeing this ever since it arrived at the shop. And I had ordered the pearl cotton and it had gotten here, and I've never done one of these before. I am talking about Hector Stalking by Shepherd's Bush. I've never done a stocking. Okay, up close. It's super cute. It's this snowman over here that got me. I really like him. So I started it. It is so fun. This is actually probably one of the reasons I did not get the Nantucket sampler motif, my goal, finished, because I couldn't stop working on this weekend. I haven't stitched with pearl cotton in ages. Back in like the early, like what do they call it? The 2000s, the early 2000s. I did a lot of Bent Creek kits that had pearl cotton. It's gonna be enormous. It's gonna be big. This is what I have done. It's so fun. Like, look at how much, this is the thing. It's stitched on, it's one strand of pearl cotton over 2 threads on a 20 count linen. And so the X's are enormous, and it stitches up so fast. Let me just try to get this fabric in half. Oh my gosh, it's so fun. I didn't even mind the snowflakes, and usually I hate snowflakes. I'm gonna wanna stitch on, I shouldn't have showed this, because now I'm just gonna wanna stitch on it tonight. I still have one chart in stock. And I'm putting together thread packs, but I don't have them on the website yet. But if you're interested in this and you want the thread pack, let me know. It also had a little charm pack. So all the little beads and doodads and things that go on there. Okay, it's still in a paper bag. I haven't gotten it into a project bag yet. I don't even know who I'm making it for. At first I was like, I could make it for like one for each of my children. I mean, they're all adults now. And at that age where like, they don't have families, they probably don't care about having a stocking. And then I was like, my husband and I have never had stockings. Maybe I will make a stocking for me and my husband. I don't know. Okay, so then lastly, focus project number 2 for August is Autumn by Cross-Eyed Cricket collection. This is what it's gonna look like. And I got maybe 4 or 5 stitches in. But at least you'll be able to see where I'm starting from. So I have the U is done, the M is done. I'm doing all the things around the M now. So I got, I don't know, like 4 stitches of that blue in. So my goal for the rest of this month, it's already the 18th of August, is to finish this M. It would be nice to get maybe the turkey or the N done before the end of the month. We shall see. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get the M done and that bat. It's doable. It's doable. Doing it on a 32 count linen, 2/2. And that's it. That is all my stitching. Where are we at? 30 minutes, not bad. Coffee time. All right, plans. Obviously, I'm gonna continue working on Autumn until the end of the month. I also need to work on the Hands Across the Sea that I'm doing, Sarah Spencer. I need to do the border section that I've allotted myself for this month. There's people walking by the store, distracted me. And then I'm starting to plan my fall starts. There are so many things that I want to start. And there are things that are getting released to Expo that there's some things that I might pick one thing from Expo to start this fall. I want to start Fall on the Farm by Little House Needleworks. There's like a bunch of things. I need to make some decisions. At first I thought I was going to do like a start all the things that I want to start in November for my birthday month, but I had to rein it back in. Oh, Live on Little, I want to start. I had to rein it in. I can't start all the things. It's going to make me nuts. So I've got to make some decisions. So I'm starting to think about that. I have been thinking about that, but I'm going to, I think, finalize my plans this month so I can start kitting things up. That's it for plans. That brings us to the bird update. I totally understand if you're going to like, see you later, Pam, now, if you're not into birds. But if you are into birds, I love my backyard birds. It is my second favorite hobby. I am probably actually spending more money on my birds right now than I am on cross stitch, which is saying something. All right, so I've had some very active feeders. I don't know, we are experiencing a drought in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. I don't know about the rest of New England, I assume, but I'm not sure because I don't pay attention to the whole region. But I know Massachusetts is hurting for some rain, and so is Rhode Island, at least where I am up in northern Rhode Island. So my bird feeders have been way more active this year than normal years. And I think the birds are doing things that I did not see them doing last year. So for example, I have an Oriole feeder and it holds a little bowl of jelly and it holds 2 orange slices. And last year, that's the first year I put it out. Last year, nobody was really interested in it except for the Orioles. This year, I have all sorts of birds eating out of it. I've had northern flickers eating the jelly, which is a sight to see because they are a big bird and they're like holding on to this little bowl eating jelly. The house finches are devouring the oranges. They're ignoring the jelly. They're eating my orange. Like usually I put the oranges out, the Orioles don't touch them, but I put them out anyway. And usually every day, like last year, every day I'd be throwing away 2 uneaten or barely touched orange slices. This year, the house finches are eating them clean. I have had starlings eating the jelly. It has been very strange at my Oriole feeder this year. Maybe those birds always eat from Oriole feeders, but they didn't at my feeder last year. Although today I had run out of oranges, so I put up apple slices. I'm wondering how that goes. The house finches were eating the apple slices too. So what else has been happening? Speaking of Orioles, Mr. H, you know who you are, down in the Cape. I took out my binoculars. I've been observing my Orioles very closely. One of my dear customers and viewers, her husband is into birds as much as I am, and had questioned whether some of the Orioles I was seeing were orchard Orioles instead of Baltimore Orioles. And so I got out my binoculars. I was examining them very closely. They are not orchard Orioles. I definitely have male Baltimore Orioles and female and juvenile Baltimore Orioles. Also in my backyard, I have a grapevine, which gives me a lot of anxiety actually because of the puppy. So dogs are not supposed to eat grapes and my older dogs ignore the grapevine, but this is a grapevine that came with the house. We don't do anything with it. We're going to have to take it down because the puppy puts everything in her mouth, but I'm having a hard time taking it down in this year of drought because the birds are eating the grapes and I feel bad taking it away. So I'm keeping the puppy away from the grapevine. So in my grapevine, the mockingbirds have been eating the grapes. I've actually had a robin in there eating the grapes. The grackles are eating the grapes. The grackles are actually very funny. They're taking the grapes over to the bird bath and dipping the grapes in and taking them out and dipping them in, just like they do with the nuts. So there's all sorts of grape bits in my bird bath every morning when I refresh the water. Those grackles. What else do I want to talk about? Ooh, I saw something interesting yesterday morning. So you know, every once in a while when the little ants, like it's all of a sudden like they're leaving their ant home in mass and they're like all over the ground in like a big cluster. That was happening yesterday in my backyard. And I had a mockingbird fly down and check them out for a little while, and then he decided to eat them. I've never seen, and now I know mockingbirds eat insects, but I've never seen them eat ants before. And they're not like big carpenter ants, like the little ants, the teeny tiny ones. Maybe because they were all in a group, he could just scoop them up. All I could imagine was like, were they wiggly inside? I don't know. Hummingbirds, still not having good action at my hummingbird feeder. Although yesterday, for the first time this summer, I was sitting on my porch and a little hummingbird, I'm thinking it was a gal, it might have been a juvenile, but it was not a boy, came to the feeder. I mean, I guess it could have been a juvenile male. I don't know. Anyway, you don't care. A hummingbird came to my feeder and sat on it and drank and had a good time. And I got to observe it for like a whole minute. So it's the first time this summer. We are in mid-August. I don't know. And then later in the day, the orioles also sat on the feeder and drank from it, the hummingbird feeder. I got a new feeder. This is what happens when we don't talk for very long. I have all sorts of things to talk about. I got a new feeder. I do a lot of my bird shopping at Wild Birds Unlimited, and they sell these like compressed seed cylinders. So it's like yay big. It's like a candle, like shaped like a candle, except there's a hole down the middle, like a big fat candle. And you slide it down on like a feeder has a pole and a little base. And so I have this pole with the base and you stick the cylinder on. But what I would find is eventually at some point, the seed cylinder would reach a point in which it would break apart and fall on the ground and it would get wasted. So I went over the weekend on my tax-free holiday and got a new feeder that has a wire cage on the outside. So as it falls apart, I think mostly it's gonna stay contained, and the birds have been enjoying it. And because it's a different sort of seed, I'm getting birds that I haven't seen since I'm getting nuthatches at it. The woodpeckers, which I haven't really had since the beginning of the summer. I've had little downies at it. The flicker has been at it. I even think I've had a hairy woodpecker. It's hard to tell hairies and downies apart, but this was definitely a little bigger than a downy. And of course the other birds are eating from it too. Especially the starlings and the grackles have been out of control in my backyard lately. I'm almost tempted to take my feeders in for a few days so they kind of like go away, except that the neighbor directly behind me, and I'm in a compact neighborhood, so the neighbor directly behind me has a bunch of feeders. So if he doesn't do the same thing, it's not gonna help. I might have to have a conversation with him. Unless he is enjoying the starlings and the grackles, which normally I do, but when there's only a few of them, grackles are my favorite. When there's a ton of them, not so much. All right, that's all I had to talk about. I've reached the end of my list. Okay, I think that's it. Again, if you are having any expo questions, reach out to me. And I will see you all next time. I hope in the meantime that you stay safe and healthy and that you're happy and that you get lots of stitching in. And that's it. I promise that I will not go so long next time in between videos. All right, bye everyone.